So back in the shop today, gonna finish the Dyna. We've got the rear fender ready to put on. We've got the rear tire ready to put on. We've got the chain drive kit on it, so that'll be nice. We'll line her up. Shocks already on it. These are about 1 inch taller. Then I got the little 1.5 inch blocks or whatever on the rear. That's temporary. I will upgrade to either Öhlins or Legends. I'm not sure yet. Frame sliders are on it. Someone asked what else have I done to it. I mean, I've got the Moto Elite clutch. I can pull this with one finger, which is super nice. The FXRT fairing from villain to hero is on and looking sexy. Gold fork tubes, Gaffler front rotors. Engine is as stock. It's got a mild cam in it, but other than that, she's stock. Minus all the little gold accents and gold bits and pieces. That's pretty much her. So I'm gonna throw the tire on, the fender, we'll throw the gas tank on, and we'll throw the seat back on, the Saddleman seat, step up seat, really nice seat, and she should be ready to go. Rear tire chain is on. Nice bit of space between the tire and the fender. Again, should have around 2.5, almost 3 inches actually on the rear. That's temporary. I wanted to see the geometry and how it feels, and if it feels good, then I'll be getting either Öhlins or Legends on the rear. The reason I haven't is twofold. First, I wanted to test it. Two, I'm like, how much money do you keep dropping into one of these things, trying to make it something it's not? It's never gonna be a sport bike. So, well, we'll see how it rides. And I may do up, I was actually thinking of the next project for this thing, if I feel like it, is gonna be the inverted front end with some Öhlins up front, some Öhlins in the back. But again, it's like how much? A stock KTM Adventure. It's got 150 horsepower, so way more than this thing, stock. This thing wheelies, this thing is such a performance machine. It's actually super impressive, the Adventure 1190R. And that's from the factory stock. So we'll see how much I keep throwing into this thing. I did want to start another project soon, which was going to be a road glide and turn it into a bit of a race bike. But want to finish this thing up. She looks good, fairing sits good. And once it dries up outside, we'll take it for a bit of a test rip. I got the TBR exhaust, and again, everything else is pretty much stock on this thing. Chain on the rear, she looks good. Integrated tail light, so I don't have any little blinkers on the back. It's integrated in the tail light. Ready to roll. Last piece is this Saddleman seat, which should click right in. There she is. Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah. And there she is, ready to roll. I'll fire it up sometime. We'll take it for a little drive, do some burnouts, maybe pop some wheelies, and we'll see how this thing, I mean, the FXRT fairing is gonna add some weight to the front end, for sure. Like, it's not a light unit, but again, typically, like a lot of guys add a ton of power to these twin cams, and I get it, it is nice to have. But typically, I'm always spinning the rear tire anyway, so it's not an issue of power, it's an issue of transferring your weight, timing it right, giving the front suspension a little dab with the front brake right before you pick the front up, and having the rear tire, or the right rear tire, that's sticky enough to not spin. Alrighty, enough talk. Let's fire her up, and let's see what she sounds like. cold. Should have kept the choke on. Either way, sounds good, runs good. She done. So that's her. Project is complete. I think she looks really good. Excited to take her out. 2 projects left. I've got the bobber. This thing is almost done, waiting for a headlight, and a few little things left to do to her, but I think she looks kind of cool. And I can't sit still for long. We got the KTM 1190 Adventure already stripped down, rebuilding the front forks, throwing on some exhaust, throwing on a power commander, throwing on a Rottweiler intake, throwing on the emissions or the, emissions control crap because, well, who needs that? I'm sure Mother Nature will forgive me. And checking the valves. I mean, this thing only has 7,000 kilometers on it, but checking the valves, clearances. There was something else I'm doing to this thing. Oils, of course. There was something, but now I don't remember. So it's probably not that important. Waiting on parts. I don't know. This will be a few weeks waiting on parts and all that. But I am out of here to Nashville for a few weeks anyways, so not a big deal. Once I get back, parts will be here. And we're taking this thing down to, I was gonna take the Harley this summer, but I'm like, you know what? I wanna hit the Baja, I wanna do some off-roading. We'll be taking this down to the Baja this summer. And then it's a business trip. So I'm gonna ride down to LA, hit up the Baja, come back to LA, leave this at a KTM dealer to kind of do a bit of an inspection, fly out to Ohio for a kind of a crypto DeFi speaking thing I got going on. One of our businesses is in crypto DeFi, so got a thing going on there, bit of a gig. Fly back to LA, then take this thing up through Vegas, through the deserts, and eventually end up in the Rockies here in Canada, go through the Okanagan, and come back to Vancouver. And it should be a pretty good trip. Just want to make sure she's ready to go. I mean, this thing's almost brand new, but still, before I put 5,000 clicks on this thing, I want to make sure she's ready to go. So that's that. Stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed the Harley build, the part A of the Harley build with the FXRT fairing. I'll put a link for it right up here. You could go check out that video if you want. And if you did enjoy this video, like, subscribe, the things all the cool YouTubers say. So go do that. And with that said, I'll see you in the next. Peace.